Good morning, everybody. We have a 2015 J model. Customer just bought the bus. He wants us to look it over, make sure everything's good to go. We have somebody coming later today that's gonna get it wrapped. It was supposed to be gone through, DOT ready, everything like that, but let's look through it and just kind of see what we find. Once we check this bus out, this will be kind of like a part one. This customer will fix anything that we find. So if we find anything, we'll bring you guys along and we'll show you what it takes to fix it. This will be a cool video. So we've already got it on the pit and we're about to check it over. We're gonna check the front end first, just kind of look it over, spray down for any air leaks. This is not gonna be a level 3 DOT, it's just gonna be kind of a check over of the bus. I just walked down here and I can already hear a problem. So we got something leaking here. That's first thing right there. We got a tank drain leaking. Again, I like to check these tanks. I like to check them around the straps. You'll see me do this a lot. And the reason is because especially this bus looks like it could have come up from up north. This is where they like to leak. And on this front tank, if you look how close, see how that is touching the tank? People run over and you can look at this damage right here. See this damage right here? Somebody's hit something. It's pushed this tank up. So it's touching the sway bar. That is a very common issue with these J coaches. I've seen them hit so hard that they actually punch a hole in the tank. Looks like somebody has put new sway bar links in it not too long ago. The race rod bushings. Do you see the rot on the bushings? They're starting to tear. That needs to be addressed at some point. The other sides look okay. Look at that. The other side just as bad. Shocks look like they're in pretty rough shape. All right, so now we're going to spray down these ABS valves. Just make sure nothing's leaking. They seem good. We're gonna spray down this air tank. That one's already got an air tank drain on it. And is it leaking? It is. Zoom in. You see that air tank drain is leaking. One thing I noticed is up here, let's see if I can bring you guys with me. We look up here at this airbag. Let me back it off a little bit. Look up here at this airbag. If you look right here, somebody just put this airbag in. This is a brand new airbag. And they're like, you know what? They put 4 bolts in it from the factory, but why do we need to put this one in? This one's a little hard to put in. Let's just leave it out. I don't understand that. That's one of my pet peeves is when people do that. We'll get up there and take a look at the front airbags. As you can see this airbag right here. They're rough. They need to see the rubber starting to come off right there. Yeah, they're right there. They need to be replaced. That one does. And see, they just replaced this one. And the shocks, they're kind of in rough shape. I don't know who put the tires on, but it's generally the weights on the outside of an aluminum wheel are generally not very aesthetically pleasing. All right, turn the headlights on. No, headlights. All right. Turn signal. This is a cool thing to add. I don't know if you're ever thinking about it. That's a cornering light. So when you turn your signal on, the light comes on. Turn signal off. Turn signal on. See that? Very handy when backing up. It's something that you can add to your other buses if you don't have one on yours. Same thing. Turn signal. All right. All right, turned off. This one also comes on when you open the entrance door. So you have like a step light. All right, push down really hard. We've got some play there. Keep going. Do it again. Yeah, this bus needs to be shimmed, and the kingpins need to be checked. Let's look at the back. Airbags are a little dry rotted all the way around. It's got some new Coney shocks on the drive axle. Ooh, look at those shocks. Those shocks don't look the best. They're not leaking, but they don't look very good. So another pet peeve of mine is when they put brakes on the bus. And you can see right here, these are brand new brakes. Somebody has just stuck pads in there. But look at the rest of the condition of the caliper. They didn't clean it. They didn't check it. They just stuck pads in there and called it a day. Didn't put the cap back on where the adjuster goes. So debris and grime can get in there. There's more to doing brakes than just slapping pads in there. And not only that, but they just put pads on there when this rotor is extremely worn. This radius rod right here, you can see the rubber is coming out of it. So this radius rod will need to be replaced. Those brakes probably need to be checked. As you can see, they've pad slapped this side also. And this side, same thing. The calipers have not been cleaned. They have not been maintained. When you pad slap calipers, you back them all the way off. And if they have not been maintained and cleaned and everything like that, then that's when you can cause a problem because they can hang. And that's not good for anybody. It costs money, time, damage, catch the bus on fire. So many different things can go wrong with that. And it takes a couple extra hours just to clean it up. You're already in there. You've already got the wheels off. You've already got the work done. Just spend a few extra seconds and do it right. This bus has eCast on it, the new version. So as you can see right there where I just sprayed, those are not leveling valves. Those are sensors. So this has the new version of eCast on it. So electronically controlled air suspension is what eCast stands for. And you can see another tank drain. All the tank drains on this bus are doomed. We'll go up there and check them. I like to check these tanks. These tanks are so commonly, they leak a lot on the back of these J's. And the problem is you want to check them now because you're like, oh, well, if it's got a small hole in it, the bus seems to be driving fine. Well, one, if you have an audible air leak, it fails inspection. Two, these tanks are pretty bad they'll have a pinhole in them, and then next thing you know, the hole was bigger, and then you're boned. You can't go anywhere with it. It won't build up air. It won't do anything. Overall, this bus is not in bad shape. Mash the brake and hold it. So right now we're just kind of spraying down the chamber. The hoses. All right. Do it again. You got a leak out of that relay valve right there. All right. There. Let's leak right there. All right, so we got the back open. Let's take a look at everything. This is one thing that needs to be repaired. That shock is in pretty rough shape. The Pro Heat obviously doesn't work, and it's all butchered up. Pipes and everything look like they're in pretty good shape. It's got a new clutch in it. Got a little bit of play in the water pump. I don't know if y'all can hear that. Listen. That water pump needs to be replaced. DD13s, that's one of the kind of problematic things right there is a water pump. Those things are quite often they fail quite often. Let's see if we can open this door. Look at the radiators. They're in really good shape. Well, we got a few things to do to this bus. This needs to be replaced. That's for that inside. You're getting exhaust in there. This box right here. This boot needs to be repaired too. Again, you're sucking engine temp inside and exhaust and stuff inside the cabin area. Pro Heat definitely needs to be addressed. Let's see, guys. Honestly, yeah, there's some few air leaks and things like that on it, but really not that bad of shape. Really not that bad of shape. I'm actually thoroughly surprised on this bus. Good evening, everybody. What we got going on today is we've got the sister coach. So y'all saw the first part of the video. We already looked at that one bus. Now we need to inspect this one. Both buses have been wrapped. They have the names on them now, but we need to get this bus in the shop and kind of check it over and see what this bus needs. The other one didn't need too much. So hopefully this one's a pretty good deal too. We'll find out in a second. So I'll take y'all with me. We're drive around the parking lot. We got to pull it in. This just got wrapped, so we need to pull it inside and see if we can get it checked out. It's going to be a tight squeeze back here. We got a lot of buses we're working on and fire trucks. All right, so it's going to be a tight squeeze because we got them back to back. We got brakes, wheel bearings, brakes, and radiator. Radiator's odd one out of the bunch. Let's see if we can squeeze in here. We can get her on the pit. I don't like to stack them in here this tight, but yeah, it's one of those things where that bus wasn't supposed to be there very long, and then the parts don't show up, and FedEx decides to lose the part. It seems to be like when you order something next day from FedEx, you're like, all right, I just need it ground. I'm not really in a hurry for it. It's not a big deal. It gets here when it gets here. Then it comes the next day. But then when you next day apart and you're like, man, I've got to have it. I have to have it by tomorrow. FedEx loses it. Like right now, we ordered a part and it was coming from Kentucky. And for some reason, it's in Washington State. Yeah, next day air. I don't know what happened there. But it did. It's what it is. Waiting on stuff. Parts coming in. All right, so first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna turn the lights on. Let's get everything inspected. All right, let's go. Turn signals are working. Marker lights are on. Front lights are working. Check the fog lights. Good. We must have a leak in the front end. Did you see how that thing went down and went up again? Fog lights. Not a fan of that. Somebody's put the LEDs in there so they're white, and then you got yellow fog lights. I mean, it works, but just brand and preference. I think it looks tacky when someone does that. If you're going white lights, make them all white lights. If you want the yellow lights, make them all yellow lights. Now we got to turn on the high beams. Let's make sure the high beams are working. They are. They look beautiful. Excellent. Marker lights are working. Corner lights are working. Perfect. We've got the fire system is okay. All right. Need to crawl under this seat right here. And look. And we got a fire extinguisher, and it's in the green. Oh. One thing I noticed, and I'll show you guys to see if it'll do it. We powered it down. Let's turn the headlights off. Powered it down. When I first crank it up, the ML light stays on longer than what it should. So you see, check engine light should go out. And you see where it says ML, let me turn fast idle. There it goes, it just went out. It's staying on longer than what it should. That right there tells me that there's a history code in there. There's a problem. So we need to hook the computer up and take a look at it. But first, we're gonna look at the front end. Got to get our handy dandy squirt bottle. All right, handy dandy squirt bottle. Ooh, shocks don't look very good. Airbags are terrible. I'll show you those. I kind of looked at them. Now we're going to just kind of spray everything down. Kind of what we did on the first one. Something similar. And there's 2 leaks right there, the suspension tank drains. That's most likely why the front end's falling down right there. This is the E-Cast, and for all you people that have seen the Renaissance coaches, you remember they used to have air tanks right there in front of the wheels? So up there, right in front of the wheels, well, they've moved them, and they move them down there to this tank. This tank is actually split in half and welded on the inside. So if you look at this tank, about right here, this is a separate tank, and this is a separate tank. That's why there's 2 drains on here. Look at that. These northern buses in their rusty tank drains. Remember, like I said, I like to spray the straps and I like to spray where things are welded together. So if you look right there where that bracket's welded on, I like to spray them to make sure they're not leaking. And what we'll do is we'll let these sit for a second. Let me check something else. Bearing look rough on that one. So let's get this thing jacked up. Sorry, I'm gonna put you guys in the dark for a second. So just hang tight. All right, what we're gonna do is we're gonna watch, right? Y'all watch right there. We need to check the kingpin. I guess this jack doesn't want to be cooperative today. Is it staying? It's staying. Probably need to throw this one away. We've jacked up way too many buses. All right. I'm gonna get y'all another light. Hang tight. Looks like they put new brakes on there. Looks like it's been pad slapped. This rotor is super wore out right there. That rotor, I could see the deep grooves in it and I could feel the edge on it. And if you look in there, you can see the new pad right in there. It's probably hard for y'all to see it. Let me shine the light up there. It's hard to make out, but it's in there. They just pad slapped it. Don't pad slap it. For all you bus mechanics out there, don't pad slap buses. Shave the rotors, replace the rotors. Do not pad slap buses, especially on the front axle. Kingpins are really nice and tight on this one. Can't move it at all. That's good. The other bus needs kingpins. They're a little wore out. So that one's good. I don't hear no noises either. What the bearings? Bearings sound good. I don't hear anything. Yeah, they sound good. We're good there. I'm gonna check the other side and I'll bring you guys along if there's something that's worth showing you. Go over the stuff that we sprayed. As y'all can tell, those are still leaking. That one's leaking. Tanks look okay. I don't see anything leaking there. See the check valves leaking. I don't see the airbags leaking, but the airbags look pretty bad. And the shocks, they don't look the best either, especially on the front. You can kind of feel it too when you are driving it. Like one corner kind of bounces down like that. Yeah, you can see that airbag. The other side's worse. See? Yes, look at that. Yeah, she's pretty bad. She needs to be addressed. So now, we're gonna drive it in. We'll check it right here first. I hear no noises with my foot on the brake. So that's good. You see that in my, it comes on, stays on, and then goes off. It's coming on, that means it's a history code, so we need to pull a code and take a look at that and see if we see anything wrong. That's important because on these newer buses, if there's a lingering problem with the DPF or the DEF system, these coaches will break down on you and you will have to tow them home. We're gonna leave the brakes released. Step light works. Turn the key back on. Wipers work. Probably need some wiper blades. Park doesn't work. Horn works. Horn works. Perfect. These need to be fixed. It's missing the locking cylinder over here. They just cheaped out and put two normal ones on there. It looks like somebody's done some work to this one. I can already tell. Like these stainless pipes, these aren't factory. They're painted red. I never could understand why MCI, which I understand why, but to me it's frustrating, why they put painted steel pipes on these buses, red. And then when the pipe rusts through, the only pipe they have in stock are these stainless ones. My question is, why not just put the stainless ones on there from the beginning and you don't have problems? But we all know why they do that. It helps their bottom line. And right here, do you see this oil? Right here. Bottom of that pipe right there. All that oil on that pipe, that needs to be looked into. I like how they electrical taped it up. Pro heat definitely doesn't work. You can look at this, the wires. So if we hit here and look at these wires right here. These are in rough shape. See that? They're all the green crusties. And look at this one. All the corrosion set into that one. Sorry, my other camera kind of crapped out on me. So this camera doesn't like zoom. And it's okay with the action, but it doesn't kind of zoom in like my other one. I got to get that one fixed. I want to check this drive shaft. This belt is a problem. The tensioner. You can see the accumulation of oil on the bottom of the tensioner. That's because the tensioner is leaking. It needs to be replaced. Same with this one. And then check this pulley too. See this pulley right here? Does it spin? Yeah, but it doesn't sound very good. On these DD13s, another good problem is this water pump. You want to check for free play. The other one definitely needed a water pump in it. That one, you could feel that pulley wobbling all around. That's a very common problem for a DD13 failure-wise, is that pump. Yeah, this one's even worse, man. Pad slaps, man, that one's so bad. The rotors are trash on there. See, and the problem is it's so grooved that you're not getting maximum braking because of that. That's so bad. Don't do that. This one too is so bad. This one's got a new caliper on it. Did they pad slap it? Yes. Look at this tire. Wow. I'm gonna set y'all down for a minute. I gotta take a picture of this so I can show it to the customer. This is really bad. You can look at this rotor. It is torched. It is grinding and heat checked. Something's rubbing on it and it feels absolutely terrible. And what's shameful is the fact that they put a new caliper on it and put new pads in it and they left the rotor like that. And they pulled the tires off and you could see, look at the cracking on these tires. This is a blowout, just absolutely 100% a blowout waiting to happen. That's terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible. Look at this chamber too. Terrible. Pad slap this side too. And the award goes to Pad Slapper of the Year. It's so wore out. I bet, it's hard for you guys to tell. I can't get y'all in there enough so that you can see. But if you could feel, there has to be almost a 1/4 inch. At the end right here where my finger is, there is a 1/4 inch of wear from there to there. You can almost see it on this end, how sharp that is. That is so bad. I guarantee if I mic this rotor that it won't pass inspection. I guarantee it. I'd be willing to put money on that. I hear a bunch of stuff leaking too. So let's see if we can grab my handy dandy squirt bottle and we can figure out what that is. Probably this chamber. Hose. Oh, we found it. The relay valve is rotted. They've got the ABS disconnected. It's no longer hooked up. It has been plugged off. I didn't see a light on the dash, so we need to look to see if they have disconnected the light because they could not get the ABS out, which is illegal. You cannot do that. Look, here's the ABS sensor just hanging. See that? You cannot do that on this coach. Not only is it illegal, it fails inspection, but it's not the proper thing to do. So we got relay valve busted. Let's walk up to this tank right here. Got a tank drain leaking. No doubt. Bunch of air leaks. Okay. So bad, I just can't understand it. They already had it tore down. Why? We got a radius rod back here. You can see it's hard to see. Let me get my light up here. See the bushing coming out? This one's even worse. You see the bushing coming out? If this radius rod fails, breaks off, or that bushing comes out of here, the radius rod, remember, the radius rod is what locates the axle. So let me zoom you guys out. All right, so let's see the radius rod. The radius rod hooks to the body, to the axle, and it locates. It keeps this wheel from moving backwards or forwards. It locates it in this spot. The V-link at the top, see that V right there? That locates the top of the axle. The top of the axle keeps the axle from pivoting, the top of it pivoting back and forth. Because remember, the bottom is located, it's not going to move because of those radius rods. So the V-link keeps the top from moving. Very important, very important, very important to make sure your radius rods are okay, because you don't want to lose no wheels, because your wheels are important against popular belief. But you need wheels and you need brakes. Hence the reason we don't just pad slap brakes. Surface area is important. You want a flat, clean surface to burnish the brakes in so you have maximum braking. Hell, you might as well just left what was up there and had metal to metal if you're going to do that. The shocks are kind of terrible. And the chambers are atrocious too. I mean, these are pretty bad. I bet under this paint right here. Like, look at this. Paint makes them rust. I can't believe how bad that tire is right there. And they put this new caliper on and then put this tire back on. God, that's so bad. That's so bad. Crazy. Crazy, crazy. Looks like someone has dropped the SCR recently. Looks like they've had the oil pan off. That's pretty good. That's maybe a good thing, I guess. Hopefully it wasn't the guy who pad slapped the bus. I wouldn't want him to take my oil pan off. Let's see, motor mounts. Frame, it's decent on this one. We are a little rusty, but she's not bad. Somebody's had the bumper off, you can see. That's why the bumper doesn't line up with the door. Maybe it was pad slapper. Guys, if you won't do brakes correctly, how can you trust a man with your engine? That's the question of the day. Y'all put it in the comments. If a man can't put the brakes on correctly, do you trust him working on your engine? I wouldn't. All right. Let's take a look. It's got a new EGR cooler on it, which is fantastic. That's such a good thing. Alternators look like they're in poor shape. Let's come over here and look at the airbags. The front end's already sagging down. Airbags are in rough shape too. This one's been replaced. Tires, look at this. Some guy needs to stay away from them curbs. I'm gonna hook up the quick scan tool and just do a scan of the engine. Let's see what we got. And we need to look to see if somebody's disconnected the ABS light. All right, we'll just do a quick scan. All right. Got to plug her in. I'll go ahead and crank it up. Set the brake. We got an issue with the AC, but I won't check that out till tomorrow. I don't know if I can bring you guys along for that one. I got a bunch of appointments first thing in the morning. I try and bring you guys along as much as I can, but sometimes I got too many people here and I got too much going on at one time. It's hard for me to film. I try my best. I like this tool for doing quick scans. Having the Detroit software, the official Detroit software, is the best way to go. But this is good for quick scans. Unless you know what you're doing on these newer buses, I don't recommend buying a scan tool and changing a bunch of stuff yourself. You could try, but you can cause yourself a lot of grief and a lot of problems. A lot of people will do that, and they'll go in there and try and change a bunch of parameters and try and work on it themselves. Unless you plan on fixing the stuff correctly, I don't suggest that. We fix a lot of buses where people have messed with stuff like that. I mean, like I said, I won't tell you what to do, but I will tell you that I don't recommend it. All right, so engine. So we've got open circuit, wheel left front pole circuit. Probably that one that we have hanging back there is the one that's open circuit. Look at faults. I don't see anything in the engine. I wonder why that thing keeps coming on like that. All right, brakes. Let's check the lamp. Warning lamps. I can go in here if you look. We can click on this. We'll do tests. It's probably gonna make me shut it off. So we'll turn the ignition back on. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna come in here to the Wabco. Press OK. We're gonna do a lamp test. And let's see what we got going on here. See, because they got a bunch of stuff disconnected and I'm curious to see why. So ABS lights on. So it's working, they don't have it disconnected. And that's probably why those history codes are probably popping up. All right, quit. Engine, let's check the same thing. We're gonna go in here and we're gonna do out of curiosity, we're gonna come in here and see ash accumulation. DPF says there's 56% ash in there. The volume is 0.859. Let's see. SCR replacement. No, which one is it? I'm trying to look at the lifetime trip data. Okay, there's what we want. Okay. That's a pretty crazy number. So bus has not idled a lot. It's only 6,907 hours. Engine hours of operation. So 1/3 of the engine's life so far has idled. Which is, it's not bad. That's not bad. Anyway. Well, I hope y'all enjoyed this. We got a few other things to check out, but I've got to go to a meeting tonight. So I'm gonna cut it here. So you'll get to see the first one and this one. If they want us to fix the stuff on this, I'll bring you guys along and show you, what we're fixing. I might not be able to show you everything, but we'll pick and choose like little things. We'll take those brakes apart and we'll look at how terrible Pad Slap McGee was when it comes to just, he basically slapped pads on every axle. It looks like we're selling the bus, slap some new brake pads on it. Not a good idea. Don't do that. You gotta have a flat surface for burnishing the pads. Flat surface. Replace the rotor or have the rotors turned. In today's time, you're better off to replace the rotors. Do not pad slap buses. That means the calipers, and that tire is terrible. I don't know who that guy is, but lay your wrenches down and go work somewhere else. That's a no-no. Yeah, it's just a big waste of money. I mean, by pad slapping it and not changing that tire, if you are a fleet and you are operating the coach, that is a waste of money. You are better off to not do anything than do that. To pay somebody to jack up the bus, take the tires off, tear down the caliper, or clean everything up, loosen the bolts, slap 2 pads in there, put everything together. You didn't check the slide pins, you didn't maintain the calipers, you didn't do any of that stuff. Pad slap it, and then throw those wheels back on. Now, somebody has to jack the bus up, take the wheels back off, take that terrible tire back off, and it costs you more money. Or somebody pulls out in front of you and the bus can't stop and you rear end them and hurt somebody. Or scenario number 3 would be that tire blows out, rips the whole fender off, takes the airbags out with it. You have to fix all those airbags and brake lines. You have to replace the brakes, fix the wheels, and tow the bus. It's not worth it. Fix it right the first time. Don't pad slap it. For you technicians out there who work for fleets, I'm telling you, walk up to the guy and say, hey, this bus needs brakes. We need to tear this down. The owner of the company would be much happier if you tore it down and fixed it right than slapping it together and sending it out for your large fleet companies. I know there are fleet guys out there that will go, hey, do we have any used brake pads out there? I think there's some used brake pads we pulled off of a bus 10 years ago. Do you think you can use those? I know that there's guys out there, and those guys out there won't be around much longer. Anyway, I'm not going to rant. I'm not going to go on that. I'm just saying, take pride in what you do. If your boss is telling you to pad slap it, that's not the right thing to do. Tell him that's not the right thing to do. And tell him straight up, that's a wrong thing to do. That's not proper procedure. If you want the bus fixed right, I will tear it down and fix it right. If you don't want it fixed right, then you put pads on it yourself and do it incorrectly. But don't stand for crap work like that. If your boss is cutting corners that extreme, you need to find another job. And if you're the guy that's just cutting corners because you're lazy, you need to find another job. So anyway, we'll see you on the next one. We got some other videos coming up. I think you guys will enjoy, so stay tuned. Remember, like and subscribe. I appreciate you guys. I'll see you on the next one.